Wang Zifu, a bright and promising young man from Luodian village in Juxian, lost his father early in life and was deeply cherished by his mother. By the age of 14, he had already passed the local scholars' exam. His mother, protective to a fault, rarely let him leave home for leisure. He had once been engaged to a girl from Xiao family, but she died before they could marry, so he remained single. On the night of the Lantern Festival, his cousin Wu invited him on a countryside outing. Just as they reached the edge of the village, Wu was called back by his servant, leaving Wang Zifu to explore alone. Along the crowd of the festival goers, one girl stood out. She had a plum blossom branch, her beauty unmatched, her smile gentle. Wang was mesmerized. The girl noticed his gaze and whispered to her maid, "That man's staring like a thief." Tossing the flower to the ground, she laughed and walked away. Wang Zifu picked up the plum blossom and returned home with a heart full of longing. He hid the flower under his pillow and soon fell ill. Silent, sleepless, and refusing food, his mother, alarmed, summoned priests and doctors, but nothing helped. Wu came to visit, and under gentle coaxing, Wang confessed everything and begged for help finding the girl. Wu laughed. "You are too love-struck. But don't worry, if she was just strolling outside, she's probably not from a noble family. If she's unmarried, this can be arranged. Even if she betrothed, a rich bride price can fix that." Encouraged, Wang slowly recovered. Though Wu failed to find the girl, he lied to ease Wang's heart, claiming she was his cousin Ying, Wang's own younger cousin, who lived 30 miles away in the mountains. Overjoyed, Wang regained strength and yielded to visit her. Then Wu stopped replying. Wang grabbed the withered plum and set out alone. He hiked through layers of green mountains and found a quiet village. Tucked into a valley, a charming cottage stood beneath willow trees and flowering peach trees. As he rested by a large rock, a girl peeked over the wall, laughing. It was her, the same girl from the festival. As he wandered outside, a kind old woman emerged and invited him in. She asked his business, and when he hesitated, she smiled. "You look like a bookworm. Come in and rest. We'll talk tomorrow." Inside, the home was modest but lovely. The old woman was shocked to hear his name. "Wang Zifu, your mother is my sister. I'm your aunt Qing. My niece Ying lives with me, my foster child. Her mother died, and I've raised her alone. She's wild but harmless." At that moment, Ying was pushed into the room, laughing uncontrollably. Even as she greeted Wang, she couldn't stop giggling. "Stop being silly. We have guests," scolded the old woman. But Ying only smiles more. She wouldn't answer her age, so her aunt said she was 16. Naive like a baby, when Wang said she was 17 and unmarried, the old woman said wistfully, "You two would be perfect, if only you weren't cousins." Wang couldn't take his eyes off Ying. Her maid whispered, "Still got those thief eyes." Ying burst out laughing again. The next day, Wang explored the garden and found Ying perched on a tree. As she slipped, he caught her waist. She collapsed, laughing. Wang took out the withered plum and said, "You dropped this on the festival night." "What for?" she asked. "Because I loved the one you held it," he replied. Ying asked, "Is cousin love the same as a husband-wife love?" Wang whispered, "Husbands and wives sleep in the same bed." She blinked. "I'm not used to sharing with strangers." Before he could reply, her maid arrived and Ying scurried off. But later, she boldly told her aunt, "Big brother wants to share my bed." Wang blushed furiously. Ying just laughed and said, "What's wrong with sleeping together?" Wang stayed longer, but one day his family showed up. They found him missing and with Wu's clues traced him here. The old woman agreed that Ying should go with them to learn proper manners. "Let your aunt choose you a husband," she told Ying. watching her live with Wang. Back home, Wang's mother was stunned by Yingning's beauty and asked who she was. Wang said she was his cousin, but his mother snapped, "I don't have a sister. Wu tricked you." Yingning, for her part, only knew her father's name was Qin and she had been raised by a ghost mother. Just when Wu arrived and turned pale, "That must be the fox girl. My aunt Qin died long ago, and her husband went mad from fox possession. They had a daughter named Yingning who vanished with the fox spirit." Everyone was shaken except Yingning, who chuckled from inside. When urged to greet the guests, she giggled her way in, bowed clumsily, and ran off laughing. No one could stay angry at her. Wu later returned to the mountain village, but it had vanished. Only wild flowers remained. The aunt was a ghost all along. Though the mother feared Yingning was a spirit, she cast a shadow like any normal girl. Eventually, a wedding was arranged, but Yingning laughed so wildly during the ceremony that it had to be called off. She loved flowers obsessively, selling her gold hairpins to buy rare seeds, and covered their house in blooms. One day, a boy from next door mistook her laughter as flirtation and snuck over, only to be killed by a venomous scorpion hiding in a tree hollow. The boy's family tried to sue, but the magistrate, knowing Wang's character, dismissed it. Wang's mother warned Yingning, "You'll get us in trouble with your foolishness." Yingning swore never to laugh again. From then on, no one could make her smile, not even her husband, but she never fawned either. One night, Yingning cried, "I was born to a fox mother, and she left me with a ghost aunt. She died alone in the mountains. Please bury her beside my father." Wang agreed, and they found the ghost mother's body intact in a wild thicket. They buried her with honor. That night, she appeared in her dreams to thank them. Yingning later gave birth to a baby boy. Whenever someone looked at him, he would smile just like his mother used to. This story blends the magical and mundane so effortlessly. Yingning's constant laughter is charming and puzzling, at first a symbol of innocence, then a mystery, and finally a quiet strength. I love how the tale slowly reveals layers of supernatural and human truth, without making either less real. There's humor, sorrow, and affection all wrapped into one beautiful, strange relationship. The ending is tender and unexpectedly moving.